All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Orange, Connecticut Zoning Board of Appeals meeting of January 6, 2020. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce the members of the board present this evening. To my right, I have Mr. Pat Panza, Mr. Attorney David Crow, Matt Pickering, and my name's Noah Eisenhandler. In addition, we have a couple other people. We have Paul Denise, the zoning officer, Deb Stonick, recording secretary, and Bonnie Sayat, recording secretary, and Deb is the secretary. Jack Demersion, let's not forget Jack. He was in our picture, I think, if I recall. The procedure is that it will take 4 positive votes to approve variances acted upon by this board. All variance approvals must be recorded in the official land records for the town clerk's office to be valid. All their actions of this board must be acted upon within 1 year to be valid. Now, there are only 4 members tonight, so the applicant will have an opportunity, and we'll discuss it in a minute, to continue this for the next meeting where you have a full board, presumably. However, on the next February meeting, I know for a fact that I will not be here. All hearings will follow the following order. All correspondence will be read into the record. The applicant will be heard first, followed by anyone else wishing to speak in favor of the application. Afterward, anyone in opposition will be heard. If there is opposition, the applicant will be afforded a short rebuttal. All persons addressing this board are asked to do something from the podium in the front of the room to my right and give their name and address prior to testimony. Now, there was no minutes from last month. So just to read, we were here last month, and the applicant, which was application petition number 1812, submitted by John Steiner for a property known as 752 Mapleview Drive for the construction of a 2-car garage. A variance of section 383-30C, setback from other property line is required. We started that hearing. However, the applicant, Mr. Steiner, chose to suspend the hearing and make some changes on some of the documents that he provided, and he has provided those changes. So that hearing was continued. Now, the problem is, Mr. Miller, who was here at the last hearing, is not here at this time. So I could give you a couple options. We could start this as a hearing de novo, or a new hearing, starting from scratch, and this time we have Mr. Pickering who will hear the aspects of your case, or you could continue until Mr. Miller comes back. However, like I indicated, I will not be here next month, so it will have to be March. So it's your call.
It would be good if I could just discuss.
Yeah, why don't you come up, because you're here anyways. Would you identify yourself, Mr. Steiner, for the record, and your address?
My name is John Steiner. I live at 752 Mapleview Drive, Orange, Connecticut.
All right, so I've given you a couple options here. One option is to continue this meeting, which in fact would be March, or start as a new hearing, somewhat of a first-time view of it today, with the 4 members, not 5, but 4 members. And you understand you're going to need all 4 positive votes for this variance to pass. If you had a full board, 5 members, you only need 80% or 4 members. So you're here, it's your call how you want to proceed.
Yeah, let's proceed.
We're going to proceed. Okay, so I know this may seem strange, and perhaps for Matt's benefit, why don't you start at the beginning and tell us what you want to tell
No
us.
problem. I know that you were the... Thank you. No problem. So I moved into the property in 2017. I bought the property in 2017. And since then, my mother was living in Seattle, near Seattle, Washington at that time. And I really didn't have a use for the in-law property that was there. So it was just a property that was sitting vacant before it. Just recently, my mom's husband had just passed away in May of this year. Her being alone in Seattle, she's had multiple back surgeries. She just had another back surgery on November 5th of this year, where she had a bunch of rods put up into her spine, and she's not very mobile at the point.
So this is your mother, not your mother-in-law?
No, this is my mother.
Oh, so
This is my mother.
some value to that.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So
Paul's indicated this is a legal in-law apartment.
Yes, yes, I hope so. I bought the property under that assumption. And in the time being, she's in a walker. She doesn't have good mobility and stuff like that. And what she had wanted was a garage erected close to the entrance of the in-law so that she can traverse in and out of the garage in inclement weather, especially in the snow, and really just reduce the time from the garage over to her property. I have a picture which maybe don't see in that, is the distance between the proper, where she would have to park, and the distance around. And so it would be much easier for her to traverse from that short distance. The reason for the two-car garage, and one of the members had asked her the reason for a two-car garage versus the one car in the last meeting, was that she has her own vehicle that she currently has for as a daily driver, and she also has her late husband's 1950 Mercury classic car that he's had.
Lowrider?
and It's not really a lowrider. No, it's not chopped. It's not channeled or anything. So it's
Sorry
an
to hear
original
that.
Merc, right? It's a nice car. And he's had it forever, and it holds a sentimental value to my mom, and so she wanted to keep the car. So based on the last meeting, there was a lot of discussion on trying to reduce the amount of variance, right? And so we took in all of the recommendations from all the board members, and we reduced it doing three things. We reduced the width of the garage by a foot. So originally it was 16 feet, now we reduced it to 15 feet. That also takes into account the width of her SUV and the walker that she uses to get in and out on the side of the garage. We reduced the breezeway by 1 foot, based on that recommendation from one of the board members. And we also moved back the entire garage in relation to the property line backwards, since it's on an angle, so that gave up another 7 inches of space, based on the recommendations. So those three things coupled resulted in a 2 foot, 7 inch increase in distance from the property line.
Okay, anything else you want to offer?
And that's about it.
Let me see that. Can I see the photo? Well, there's tarpers where the proposed garage is.
Yes.
What's there now? What was there?
Nothing, just grass.
You're just keeping it from freezing,
Right.
is that correct?
Yes.
It's not an old swimming pool or anything, right? How big's the lot?
You got,
I think you better ask the witness here. How big's the lot?
I probably should know that, but I don't, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Probably not.
I think it's up here.
you got 178 by 170.
How old's the house?
30K.
Yeah, 30,000. Yep.
How old's your house?
Built in 1954, I believe.
All right. Paul, was there a letter? I think last time, wasn't there a
Yeah, I
letter?
submitted a letter to the,
From the neighbors or
from the
something?
neighbor saying that there was no issue with the variance.
Gentlemen, may concern,
Paul, could you come up to the stand up to the, sorry,
how many years you been doing this, Paul?
sorry.
Gentlemen, may concern, I, Sai Krishna and Previn Krishna? Is that- Property owners of 758 Maple View Drive, Orange, Connecticut, agree to authorize John Steiner, property owner of 752 Maple View Drive, Orange, Connecticut, to construct a building adjacent 10 feet from our property line. I understand, or we understand, that this is an exemption to zoning.
Actually, it's changed somewhat,
Yeah. So we increased the,
a couple feet. All right, anything else you want to add? Any questions of this gentleman?
any questions?
A couple questions. The first one is, give me the specific hardship to the property.
Specific. Yeah, you asked that last time and I didn't really understand,
I thought maybe you know the answer by now.
no.
See,
Hardship. No, I don't know.
Well, it's got to be unique to the land. I mean, this is a small lot. Is the neighborhood all small lots?
Yes.
You can't, I'm looking at the map, you can't build this addition or this garage anywhere else, correct?
Right, because on the left-hand side is the leaching fields, and to the back is the septic tank.
You know, it's a square lot. Right.
I think we also talked about, and let me just refresh my memory, it looks like you got the attachment, and the attachment shows it's in the same place as what the original map is. Is that a?
It is, no, it's, it did change, so if you want to see the enlargement.
Yeah, they should have made the changes here.
Oh, they didn't make
the No.
changes? Oh.
And the other thing, when you said you reduced the width from the existing house to the garage by a foot, it shows the same. You got 8'7", you got 8'7".
I think it's 9'7", isn't it?
It's 9'7".
That was
Yeah, I couldn't
nine.
see that either.
I can't see that.
That's 9'7".
Yeah. I had that same question.
Wow.
It was previously 9'7", and we
That looks
reduced it
like
to
a
8 point. I know, yeah, it's,
Okay, well, thank you for that. The other question is, did you ever entertain, and again, without seeing any actual elevations, as far as where you come into the house and to the, your in-law apartment, the number of stairs, the only thing I can tell is from a really brief, yeah, you can't even tell there, it looks
there's
like.
3 stairs and
That's 3 steps there?
yeah, and the distance between the house and the end step is 4 foot 7 inches.
To the outside, the furthest point?
Yes.
So, with that portion said, was it possible, or did you consider taking it and still reducing this and going to, instead of having 8'7", go to 6'7"? You can still make that happen with the stairway getting into the,
Turn it right, please, I don't think it's on.
oh, I'm sorry.
Yep, the green light.
Yeah, I got it.
It's on, thanks.
So again, let me reiterate, did you consider moving the garage closer to the house from going, and we thank you for 9'7" to 8'7", but did you consider going it to 6'7"? You could still make that happen, getting into the house with that distance.
Right, and so the door would swing outward from the garage.
correct, which
And
you
it's a
got-
4-foot door that's being, so it would give you, in that relation, you know, maybe,
Why do you need a 4-foot door?
just so that it's gotta be wide enough for my mom's walker and everything to traverse go
Code,
inside of
code requires 36. That's for handicap.
Okay, well, I just wanted to give my mom a little bit more room in
And save
entry and
yourself,
back and
you
forth.
save yourself some money too. You didn't have to get a custom door. But anyway, all I want you to do is think about consideration. What we're trying to do is, again, reduce the amount of impact to the property. In other
Right.
words, how much you're asking for a setback, which would help your cause, in my opinion. You know, something to think about,
Okay.
okay? That's all I got to say.
Matt?
I have no questions.
David?
Mom's on a walker,
Yes,
and is this door shown in the picture, the door she goes into the house?
She gets up those steps?
yeah,
Yeah, but you can't see the size of the door.
yeah, I didn't see that.
And that door, is that door
What's the size of
36 or
that door?
32?
I believe it's the 4-foot door.
Mm,
It's like the normal, it's a,
I would find
Or
that
the
hard,
36,
I would
or-
find, yeah, I would
or
find
30.
that hard pressed to be 4 feet. It's either, normally they're 32 side doors or 32 front entrances or 36.
okay, the 36. And it's,
Okay.
it's the same
It-
size.
It,
as
it
the
may
front
be
entrance.
a 36, but it could be a 32, right?
No,
You're
it's a
not sure?
36,
Are you sure?
yeah,
How do we know?
because I measured it from the,
But I'm saying, how do we know we
Oh,
don't
how do you
have it
know?
here?
oh,
In other words, when you come to plead your case, usually what you try to do is come with a floor plan showing the specifics, okay? What you've given us is obviously, you know, what you plan to do on a plot plan, on a map. So it's difficult to turn around and verify what you're saying.
understood.
You understood? Okay. So, but we would think it's a 36.
Is the object to try to keep that looks like an asphalt pathway
Yes.
When the objects keep that?
Yes.
And right now that asphalt pathway exists so
There you go.
people can get from the driveway to the in-law. Right now that asphalt patch exists so people can get from the current driveway to the in-law apartment, is that correct?
Correct.
So if,
For visitors, they go up that.
Yeah, up visitors or, yes.
You just reverse the stairway.
I guess that's the case in point here. This thing could be redesigned. You can come out that door, take a right-hand turn, come down 2
Exactly.
steps, and you could slam this thing over almost 5 feet off the house.
That is correct.
So instead of having 12 feet, we're gonna be, or
8.7 is.
got a bunch of blind people on the board here, huh? 13.4, if you can get that, that would be down almost to 15.4. So now you're looking at a 10-foot variance as opposed to,
So you'll turn this, you're suggesting you turn
You turn the
the
stairway.
landing.
so when you come out of the
90
landing,
degrees.
you just come down, you move that walkway
but-
over against the
That's
house.
correct.
But
The other option is to push it back behind the door and move it, tuck it over. So you come down the stairs and go in the garage.
There's a lot of
is
variance.
there gonna be an overhang on the walkway?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So either way, you know, the overhang would still cover the stairway.
Right.
Whether it was coming down towards the garage or turning it, coming down to
Then
towards
the
the
mother has to
walkway.
make a 90-degree turn.
You follow the
Stairs.
suggestion? So right now you have a set of stairs, like you come out the door, you come down 2 stairs. You would come out the door and go down the stairs to the side, you'd move your walkway closer to the house. Thus being able to tuck your garage in closer to the house, reducing the amount of variance you need.
How big is the landing?
I'm sorry?
The landing,
The
square?
landings are usually 36.
No, but if it's square, if you're just
Yeah,
turning it.
you
it's-
just
it's-
rotate it. Yeah. And again, you know, the landing, I would say,
You'd
from
be
right
re-
on the railing, that railing looks like it's 36. Cause you got a 11.5 inch step, actually you got an illegal step coming down into the asphalt. So it probably would behoove the situation of turning that landing and having the stairs come down. So
You
in
could
other words-
also probably make your mom comfort steps, get them a little
Exactly.
smaller. Add another stair, probably go down to 4 or 5 inches, make it a little easier for her to get up and down.
Exactly.
As well as, like I said, tucking that thing in a little closer to the house.
Or a ramp, you come out sideways,
Yeah,
you can build a ramp.
do a ramp, exactly.
Move your garage
Down
entrance,
back.
so move your door for your garage up to the front corner. You follow? And then you'd have a
Entrance to the
ramp
gar-
coming down, if you so choose. I'm
Yeah,
not,
I
I'm
mean,
not,
we're
I'm not
trying to
designing
tell you
your
what-
addition.
We're not trying to design it, we're just trying to help your cause.
You understand that we're here to vote on whether or not the variances be granted,
Right.
and today is the day,
Right.
so unless you want your builder to, does he have some input? Can you address any of these?
So
concerns?
I'm just on, so just so I'm kind of understanding what you're recommending from, so it's a 90-degree entrance into, so I don't know how wide
Couple
they're
things.
supposed to, how
Couple
wide
things.
they're supposed to be.
We like the variance to be as low as we can.
No, right.
I mean, the amount. We also need to know what your hardship is. That's one of the biggest things we need from you,
Okay.
the biggest.
Which way does the door swing that we're looking
In.
at here?
And
It swings in, but there's a, looks like a storm door, does that
storm
swing
door
out?
swings out. yes.
Okay,
He'd
does
have
it
to
swing
turn
out to the right, or does it swing out to the?
Matters not, you can reverse
From-
those,
From
Okay,
right
just-
to,
yeah.
It
From
swings
right
the
to-
wrong
I'm
way
just
for what
thinking
we're
of-
suggesting.
Yeah,
It does.
from right to
one
left.
more thing.
We're here, so, you know, are you seeking an opportunity to continue this meeting?
I would like to get approval so that before it starts snowing, to get the
Call.
garage.
Well, everybody comes before the board and wants to get approval.
Yeah,
but you
yeah,
understand
yeah.
you need 4 positive votes to get the approval.
Gotcha.
And if you don't get the approval, you could resubmit, but there's gotta be some significant
Change,
change on it.
just so that you're aware.
Yeah, you just don't
What
just
does that
reapply the following month, there's gotta be some change of significance on your plan, and maybe, I don't know how the board will vote, I mean, again, we have a discussion amongst ourselves to do it. We're not here to tell you how to design it, just a yes or no vote. But, you know,
Maybe if I-
however you wanna proceed.
So so if we did do the 9, because the 8.7 feet between, that's what we're discussing right now, right? It's-
Well, we're discussing your design and your hardship.
Right.
I
But-
still don't have a hardship here yet.
So can you please define what hardship?
I cannot, no.
So we're not here to give you legal advice or building advice, you know.
Oh, I just,
Yeah,
But in essence, a hardship is something unique to the land that makes a strict application of zoning ordinances in any certain town to be not reasonable, not to be with the intent of the town zoning plan. So, you know, what's examples, you know, unique, it's not a financial, it's not that your mom needs some help here, it's more, you know, the way the land is situated, you know, the small lots, pre-existing zoning, you know, your corner lot, you have your septic, you know, leaching field, those kind of things. It's not financial. It's-
Yeah, unfortunately, the hardship also is not consideration your mom or your mom coming to live with you. It
Right.
comes to the property
It's
itself.
unique to the land.
just the land,
Yeah,
just the
still
property
land.
itself.
Doesn't matter who
right?
the owner is, it's just the
Right.
Right,
land.
it's just the land, and,
We don't want to sound that we're cruel. It's just a matter of that's how we either got black or white. There's no variation to that.
right.
So we'll give you another option. If you want to continue it, or you want to vote, that's fine. If it's, I don't know the feelings, I mean, you're gonna hear the feelings as soon as we close this meeting. If it's denied, you have the right to come back with some significant changes. What's the definition of significant? Some changes, it's gotta be something. Instead, not just minor changes, then the board could reconsider it. But you would also have to submit a map, you know, your maps have been changed, and it's the same date on the maps. So your surveyor's gotta indicate that it's a modification.
And elevations would be helpful of exactly what you're doing. You know?
You know, building plan. But again, I need to tell you though, I'm not gonna be here in the February meeting, so these 4 people have to be here for March. And I know you're
Or-
anxious.
Or for March, or, so there's no meeting in
No,
February?
there may be a meeting, but you're gonna need 4 people.
Right.
So all 4 have to be there, because we've already started this hearing.
Right.
We're not gonna go back again like we're starting fresh this
Yeah,
time.
understood.
I don't think that's fair to the board, to you. And I'm not gonna be here in March, February, I know I'm away for a week.
Would there be,
We'll give you a chance, sir.
all right, is there a way to, say, we would reduce the breezeway amount by, I don't know, 10 inches that you're asking for? or
it's,
something? You gotta have the
shown.
plan?
it's gotta be on
the
the plan, yeah, and hardship.
Hardship of the land, and so, based
We're not
on,
trying to be difficult here, believe me.
No, I
We
gotcha.
usually, you know, we're all neighbors here, we're all orange.
Yeah,
residents, we're all
exactly.
trying
What we
to-
don't want you to do is go too far and then have to make a drastic design change when you come back in.
gotcha.
That's what we're offering you here.
You may sound like, you may not believe this, but, and it doesn't sound like it, but we're actually trying to do you a favor.
Yeah, well,
No, I'm trying-
we're telling you
You
more
get
than
no joy.
No, I appreciate it, I really do.
I think if you do a little, look it up a little bit on the internet, they'll explain it to you. what it
Okay.
is.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
No, you want free, come on up,
Yeah,
sir.
come on.
Come on up.
You need to make it sorry.
You gotta identify yourself. Your name and address, sir.
My name is Aaron Eli.
Could you spell your name, please?
Aaron, A-A-R-O-N. E-L-I,
Thank
Eli.
you.
I happen to be the contractor for the project, and I'm trying to make it practical if it's possible. I was suggesting to John that if it is possible that whatever recommendation you guys do, to write it down, and Paul will provide the drawings and everything as indicated. We write it down, make notes, and make whatever changes on the drawing, and comply with that, and Paul would see that it was done, and that way.
Paul's not gonna provide any drawings.
No, we provide it to him, or the building department, and we make certain that whatever you want, or recommend as a viable way to get it done.
I think you
Make sure
heard,
that it's on the drawing, and that way.
Mr. Eli, we can't design it for you, and we
No,
can't
no.
tell you what the hardship is.
We had the architect to design that, and we submit it.
Well, that's good, because what you should have done is had that here.
We brought it the last time, and I thought that
You need it here.
I have it on my.
but it's up to
Yeah,
Mr.
right.
Steiner how he wants to proceed.
Yeah.
We're not, you know, you heard the conversation, you heard some of the
Yes,
the
I wanna
concerns of
try
the
and
board,
see-
so
Make it through.
perhaps it might be
And,
a
and,
wise move to, you know, continue this until March meeting with those changes. Or we
and
can
in
vote on
any,
it. Sure
any
call.
event, as Mr. Pickering has pointed out several times, regardless of what changes you make on your plan, you still have to name a hardship for us. You have to help us out there.
You have to name a hardship.
You have to define what the hardship is to this property.
Well, thank you.
Okay. So having said that, Mr. Steiner, I know you're disappointed, but
Okay.
we're really, because if we deny, if it gets denied, and again, I don't know how the board feels, but if it gets denied, you know, it could be a while.
You're starting from scratch again. New design, new everything.
Okay.
So, what are you requesting?
I guess I don't have much of a choice but a continuance until March. That's what I will choose.
Okay, do we have to vote on that, Paul?
No, you don't have to vote on it.
All right, so I'll grant the continuance to March. I strongly suggest that you submit updated, and the surveyor should indicate
The
that it's
changes.
updated and it's changed.
The date's gotta be changed,
Yeah.
you know, the dimensions gotta be changed. Also, you should consider having an architectural, set of drawings, the garage relationship to the house, to the in-law apartment. Normally, when you come in for these variances, that's what you normally bring,
Okay.
okay? And
I'll
that's
make
the-
sure my trunk-
And that's the best advice I can
Just
give you.
meet with Paul,
Yep.
affable fellow. All right, any other?
I appreciate that.
All right, so we will continue this meeting. Again, I apologize for the
No,
long
understand.
scheduled, unavoidable requirement for me not to be here. All right, so we will continue this to March.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other business before the board?
No.
Okay, not hearing no. Any motion to?
Make a motion to close?
make a
Second.
close? All right, Pat
Vote.
makes the motion, Matt seconds it. All in favor? Aye, aye.
Aye.
We're closed.